Welcome back to Fox and Friends. Pastor Robert Jeffress has stirred up a lot of controversy for likening Mitt Romney's Mormon religion to a cult. He told a reporter, quote, "Rick Perry's a Christian. He's an evangelical Christian, a follower of Jesus Christ. Mitt Romney's a good moral person, but he's not a Christian. Mormonism is not Christianity. It's always been considered a cult by the mainstream of Christianity."
And that pastor, Dr. Robert Jeffress, is with us now. Pastor, thank you for being on the show this morning. So, real quickly, do you stand by that statement? And in what way is Mormonism a cult? What do you mean?
Well, first of all, when I introduced Governor Perry, I did not use the words Mormonism, cult, or even Mitt Romney. It came afterwards in an interview when a reporter asked me personally, would I vote for a Mormon? And I do believe Mormons are good moral people, but they've never been considered a part of mainstream Christianity. When I'm talking about a cult, I'm not talking about a sociological cult, but a theological cult. Mormonism was invented 1,800 years after Jesus Christ and the founding of Christianity. It has its own founder, Joseph Smith, its own set of doctrines, and even its own book, the Book of Mormon, in addition to the Bible. That, by definition, is a theological cult.
But when you use the word cult,
and that's all I was saying.
Pastor, the word cult, it stirs up negative feelings. Yes. For a lot of people, it's a negative word.
That's right. But again, I'm not talking sociologically. I'm talking theologically. And by the way, I'm a part of the Southern Baptist Convention, the largest Protestant denomination in the world. And the Southern Baptist Convention has labeled Mormonism as a cult. So as much as Bill Bennett and others would like to make me out to be the Jeremiah Wright of the right, I'm not. I've even said that I would vote for Mitt Romney if the choice was Mitt Romney or Barack Obama. But I believe, guys, when we as evangelical Christians have the choice to select a leader to unseat Barack Obama, we ought to give preference to a Christian instead of someone who doesn't embrace historical Christianity.
Well, by that account, then, Barack Obama is a Christian, and then if you're saying that if he were running against Mitt Romney, he wouldn't be a Christian if he's a Mormon, right?
That's right. And the reason I would probably select Mitt Romney over Barack Obama is I do think being an evangelical or a Christian is important, but it's not the only criteria by which we select a leader. I personally would rather have a non-Christian like Mitt Romney, who at least embraces some biblical principles, than a professing Christian like Barack Obama, who embraces unbiblical principles.
There are those
abortion.
who believe your statements hurt Rick Perry because this thrusts religion back into the spotlight again. Of course, the discussion had been over the economy. Let me play for you what Bill Bennett, as you brought up, did say about this and called it bigotry. Take a listen.
I would say to Pastor Jeffress, you stepped on and obscured the words of Perry and Santorum and Kane and Bachman and everyone else who has spoken here. You did Rick Perry no good, sir, in what you had to say. Do not give voice to bigotry. Do not give voice to bigotry.
Your response?
If it's bigotry to say we should prefer evangelical Christians to non-Christians, then John Jay, who was the first Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, was a bigot because he said we have as our duty to prefer and select Christians as our leaders.
You know, I want to listen. Something your friend yesterday, Governor Mike Huckabee, who was on the show, and you guys are friends, and spoke highly of you, said though that he doesn't think that a person's faith should be on a person's mind when they go into the ballot box to make a decision. That a person's convictions should. What drives that person should be something that's a matter of fact for them when they go in to vote for someone, but not their faith. What do you say to that?
Well, I love Mike. He is a wonderful friend. He wrote the foreword to my new book. But I would say religion is very much a part of the discussion because our religion defines who we are. It's the very essence of who we are. And to say you can compartmentalize your faith from your behavior, I think is really ridiculous. I do believe, guys, religion is going to be a part of the discussion in 2012. We ought to be able to talk about it in a sane, rational way. And I believe this will be a continuing discussion.
Are you worried that you have maybe hurt Rick Perry's campaign? And if you had to do it again, would you not use that word cult?
Well, again, I want to remind the viewers I never used that word cult in my introduction of Rick Perry. Rick Perry expressed his excitement about the introduction after I finished speaking. This is all that happened afterwards.
Right.
And I want to remind people I'm a pastor first. And when asked as a pastor about what I consider to be false religions, I have to tell the truth as a pastor, regardless of how unpopular it might be.
I want to get your comments on what Governor Rick Perry has said, or his spokesman had come out and said. Robert Black said the governor does not believe Mormonism is a cult. He's not in the business of judging people. That's God's job. Now, you know Rick Perry very, very well, and you, or in the day of prayer together. Do you believe that statement? Is that playing politics, or do you believe that Governor Perry does think Mormonism is a cult? What's your sense?
I have never discussed this issue of Mormonism with Governor Perry. I have no idea what he believes, and really it doesn't matter to me in that regard. I respect the governor, and I believe, guys, there are reasons to prefer Rick Perry that go way beyond his Christian faith. He is a consistent conservative versus a conservative out of convenience like Mitt Romney.
Pastor, thank you for being with us on the Sunday morning.
Thank you for having me.
Now heading to church.
Coming up on the